Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through what I am calling a personal stock take. So this is just basically a review of your life, how you're doing. Are you doing good? Are you not doing good? What do you need to improve? What do you need to change? Things like that. We are 6 months into the year 2023 and it is a good time for you and me to do a personal stock take. So let's get right into the video. Keep shining. You gotta keep it 100 every day. Being like just keep it shining every day. Better do what you got. No matter what life will bring, keep shining. Okay, so personal stock take. So this is basically just a review of your life, how you've been doing. Are you doing good? Are you not doing good? Is there anything you need to work on? Anything you need to change? Basically, that's what it is. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys a method that you can use to do a personal stock take that will help you to capture nearly every, if not every part of your life and just, be able to review it nicely. So, the first thing you want to do is to divide your life into categories that when you sum them up, make up your life, right? So I'm going to divide it into 4 categories for me, right? That is spiritually, how am I doing? Mentally, financially, and physically. So the first one I'm going to get into is spiritually because I feel it's the most important one, right? Like my walk with God. How is it? So for all of us, each one of us is able to tell what our standing is with God, whether it is good, whether it is, trying, and whether it is bad. We are able to tell each one of us. So the first thing you want to do when you get to this category and to check how you're doing spiritually, you're checking like, okay, so how is my standing in my faith? How is my standing with the Lord? Is it good? Once you answer this question, now you can go a little bit deeper to see what you've been doing that might have led to your particular standing at that point in time, right? So for me, I would like to check 3 things in particular: my prayer life, my study of the word, and how I'm fellowshipping with fellow believers, right? Because these 3 things are like the main ways in which you grow your faith, your knowledge in God, your love for God, and all of that. So your prayer life. So there are certain people who maybe have set even a particular time when they pray, a particular time when maybe they study the word and all of that. So over the past 6 months, if you're such a one, you want to check, have I been following through with my prayer time and my word study time? Right? You want to check if you've been following through with that time and how long you've been spending doing that and what exactly you've been doing. Like, have you actually been praying during your prayer time? Have you actually been, engaging with God and actually studying the word? Or maybe is it listening to sermons, right? So that's what you want to check. But for those of us who may not even have set time, so when you are checking now your prayer life, like, oh, how have I been doing the past 6 months? Maybe you realize that actually the past 6 months I've not even been praying at all. Maybe that's why my standing with God is the way it is. Or maybe I've only been praying when I'm in trouble. Like you're not praying to grow your relationship with God. You're just praying because, oh, now, I've got this issue. So yeah, let me not get too much into the examples, but you want to check, how is my prayer life doing? Am I following through with my prayer times? How is my study of the word? Am I actually taking time to get into the word and just trying to hear what God is saying? Am I listening to any sermons, people that may teach me and enlighten me, and then the fellowshipping part, how often do I go to church, right? And when I go to church, am I really being blessed? Am I really being helped? Am I really, getting anything from there? Once you check these things, now you're seeing how it's affecting your standing with God overall, right? So spiritually, those are the things you might want to check. And as you are doing it yourself, you get a pen and a paper, you'll be able to see where you are not doing well, where you're doing well, I need to continue doing that, and where you may have to change strategies. As you are doing this, you may discover that, oh, because I set my prayer time to be a particular time, during that time, I always end up doing this other thing. So you may want to change and adjust the time and do it at a different time. Things like that. Okay, so that's that one, how you're doing spiritually, or how you've been doing over the past 6 months spiritually. We move on to mentally. So mentally, you want to check how things affect your mental headspace, how things affect how you feel, basically, right? Because
things may affect how you are thinking and definitely will affect how you end up feeling, right? So on this one, I would advise that you check these 3 things. You may add other ones if there are other ones that you feel are necessary. But for me, I would consider these 3. My relationships with other people, what things I feed on, right? What things I take in, not eating, but like taking to my mind, right? And what habits I've developed. So relationships with people. Now I want to check when the people that I relate with, the people that I've allowed into my life, what are they pouring into me? Like, what is it that they tell me, share with me? How do they speak to me? And how does it affect how I think? Right? So that's what you want to check. And if you've got some significant relationships, you've got a partner or, I don't know, a mentor and things like that, you also want to check how those people are pouring into you, how they're relating with you, like what things they are doing and how those things they're doing when you're relating are affecting how you think. You want to check that. You may find that some people are actually steering you in the right direction and you want to be closer to them. And you may find that some people are actually distracting you from achieving your goals and you may want to, maintain a distance from them. And then also on this one, relationships, you want to check also how you now act towards other people. Like, how do you speak to them? What things do you share with them? You want to check those things also because sometimes the way that you relate with other people will affect how they'll relate with you, right? And that will also help you to see what headspace you're in. Like when you're talking to other people, how do you speak? Are you rude? Are you nice? Are you, that will also help you to see like, oh, what really do I think? Like, what headspace really am I in? Because we really just pour out what it is we are full of. Yeah. And then when it comes to what we feed on, you're checking what things am I reading, what things am I watching, what things am I listening to, and how are they changing the way I think? How are they changing my mood? How are they changing, my behavior and all of that? Because whatever it is that I'm taking into my mind is definitely going to determine what I become. So you want to check what you're feeding on. If you discover that some of the movies, music, whatever things you're taking in are actually steering you in the wrong direction, or they're just distracting you, or they're just not good for you, you want to cut them out. If there are some that you find like ever since I started listening to maybe this musician, I've had positive energy or whatever, ever since I started listening to Theophilus Sunday, I've been stirred to pray more, so you want to check the things you're taking in, reading, listening to, watching, and how they're affecting your mind. Finally, what habits have you developed? You want to check what habits you've developed that are helping you and what habits you've picked up maybe from people developed that are not helping you. You want to check. If maybe you used to exercise and then you've stopped and then now you've just become lazy, you want to check those things. So these are the 3 things you might want to check under how you've been doing the 6 months mentally and how it's affecting your headspace. Financially, this one, I know a lot of us like it. So financially, you want to check how much you get versus how much you are spending, right? It doesn't make sense that I get this much and then I want to be spending this much. Like, why am I overwhelming my pockets? So you want to now check if you have healthy spending habits, right? There are times when we spend money on things that we don't even really need to spend on. We can actually do without, right? So you are checking if there are certain things that you are spending on that are not helping you. You want to redirect that money to things that may actually help you. And if you're watching me and you're like in your 20s, early 30s, this is a time for you to make good financial choices so that you may enjoy in your 40s. You don't want to be a 40-year-old who is being disrespected by young people because and because you're just not responsible enough. Because when you're not responsible with your finances, definitely when you're older, it will show that so you just want to see if you're putting your income to good use. And this is a good time after checking your income and your expenditure and all of that to also see how much money you can at least put aside to save for purchasing of bigger things that you may not be able to buy once off from your income. And also look out for investments and be able to remove a certain amount that you can invest into something at the least, So financially, those are the things that you are checking: how much you're getting, how much you're spending, and if your spending is helping you or not. And also, it's also a good time for you to think of where you can put your money that can generate you income. I think I mentioned that, investing. Yeah, and then physically, for this one, a lot of us will be found wanting. Why am I saying this? Most of us only check how we are doing physically when we fall ill. Like, we wait for something to go wrong for us to realize that, oh, actually, I've not been doing well in my health. So when it comes to physically, you want to check your nutrition. You want to check how your body is doing, right? How many times have you fallen ill in the past 6 months, and what ailments were those? They may be pointing you in a certain direction to say, oh, you're actually lacking this in your body, right? And then you might also actually take a further mile and just do a full medical checkup. That may help you to see what things you are doing to your body that are unfair. Sometimes it's just the fact that maybe you don't take enough water, you don't take enough fluids, or you're not eating enough of a certain essential part of your diet, right? Or you're not exercising enough. So for this one, we might not all have full knowledge on this one. So you might want to do a bit of research, like on nutrition, on health issues, what's good for your health and what's not. So that even as you are doing this review, you're not lying to yourself, believing that, oh, me, I eat well, I eat meat every day, or So you might want to do a bit of research so that as you are doing your review, you have your facts right. But what I know is that you need to do some form of exercise at least 3 times a week or so, right? And you need to also make sure that you are eating vegetables and fruits every day, right? And you also need to make sure that you are watching your carbs intake, right? Because you want to watch your fat. You want to watch how much fat is getting into your body. Yeah, so also when doing a review of how you've been doing physically, you also want to check like how you look, like in terms of your appearance. When you go out there, when people see you, they're always telling you, oh, fix your shoes, fix your hair, fix your what? Like, do you always look scruffy? Do you always look like, disorder? Or like, are you presentable? Are you smart? When people see you, do they say like, you're looking sharp, you're looking good? So you also want to check your appearance, like, how do I appear? Am I clean? Am I neat? Am I presentable? You need to carry yourself with some honor. Yeah, so you also want to check that. That's very important because your appearance is the first thing that people interact with when they meet you. Sometimes even before they speak to you, you're coming, they see you, and already they start having thoughts about the type of person that you might be. And then you speak and get to know to each other, and all those things follow. So your appearance, when it comes to an evaluation of how you're doing physically, very important. Basically, that is how I would do a personal stock take, so that I don't miss on anything, and so that it's well organized and I can easily take down whatever I need to take note of. So now the whole point of a stock take is to see how you are doing, see what it is that you are doing good with that you can continue with. So this is like month 7, right? 6 months have gone down. So after doing your personal stock take, you've come up with a list now of things that you're doing good in. You might want to continue in that direction. And the things that you're not doing well with, you want to either change strategy or get rid of certain habits, or just rethink things and help yourself to go in the right direction. It is very important to do this. It seems like just one of those things, but when you begin to be more intentional about the things you're doing in your life, you will find that your life will improve. So that's all I had for you guys. I hope it's going to be helpful to you, and I hope you're going to do an actual personal stock take. Thank you for watching. Give this video a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Have a good day, have a good morning, have a good evening, have a good night, whatever time you're going to watch this, and bye.
Keep shining.